channel, but I have both of your channels and nothing.
Now we're live.
Okay, guys. It's a new year, okay? It's a new year, and JNull and I have been having a wonderful chat for the last 15 minutes, and we figured out that, A, I can't broadcast on our half-acre homestead, and I should have remembered that from last year, and B, now that we're sitting here chatting, I forgot I wasn't broadcasting, so we are 13 minutes late. Welcome to Sunday night with JNull0 and his big sister Bev, and we are talking about the heartbreaks and joys of homesteading, and we just covered half the show without y'all here. So,
I gotta love that newfangled technology.
Oh, come on, don't be picking on me. Jason Crackers. There we go. How's my accent?
Not very good.
I want to move. Not very good?
No,
I want to move down there.
You totally could not pass for a southerner, eh?
What's that?
You totally couldn't pass for a southerner, eh?
Well, you couldn't pass for friggin' Canadian either.
Oh, I got to go watch the hockey shows, eh?
It's not a hockey show. Hang on a second. Where am I? It's not a hockey show. It's a hockey game. A hockey game. It's the best game in the land.
Oh,
anyway.
Canada. That's all right. So
You don't want me to sing "Oh Canada." Not yet. So, you lost some rabbit kits.
Yeah, we lost. We had three does give birth this past winter. We lost 2 entire litters of rabbit kits. Like I said, we fared a lot better than a lot of folks did up and down the creek. Had some calves that were lost. A lot of deer that was lost.
And
But
you were
in a hard winter like this, you're going to lose. You're going to lose stuff. I mean, you lost a lot of stuff this winter, and I'm sorry about all your losses. But like the topic of tonight's show, you take the good with the bad, and it doesn't matter. You have livestock and dead stock. I think that's what Howie says all the time, and sometimes things go very smooth and swimmingly, and you have a big giant smile on the face, and the rest of the time you're covered in chicken crap and mud up to your knees and muck and mud and frozen, and your hands are beat up, and you're wondering why the hell you ever made a decision to be a farmer.
Well, it's really funny because, well, I don't look at myself as a farmer because I don't have enough land to be a farmer. I want to move to Kentucky. I've seen some video footage of Kentucky, and that's some beautiful country. Very much like up here, yeah, only without the
it's nice.
Separatists.
It's really hard. It's hard to work these hills. I mean, it's really hard because you figure we got big, gorgeous, beautiful trees up on top of the hills. Well, you go up there and saw that tree down, and now you're like, oh crap, I got to get this tree down the hill. I got to get it down the hill so I can work on it, or I can cut it up for firewood. The same thing, we putting up fence, and you only got like on the hill behind my house, I got maybe 4 inches of dirt before I start hitting rock and shale. So every time I dig a hole to put a quarter post in, or every time I drive a fence post or something like that in, or dig out to put a building up or something, that's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it's hard.
Yeah. We go down. How far do we go down before we hit clay, dear? Couple feet, and we hit just clay, which is like wet cement that's almost set. It's just nasty. It's great. It's actually really good, but it's crappy for drainage, I think. Yeah. Actually, we have pretty good drainage. Whoever built this house may have done a lot of a lot of things the wrong way, but what they did do was build a good drainage system around the house because we are quite literally on the hill. Mm-hmm. Our septic bed had to be built up in order to be installed because we back right onto like a 15-foot drop into a ravine. And then if you go in the southerly direction, you just keep going on uphill, right? Because I guess I'm hill folk. I'm Canadian hill folk.
Canadian hill folk, eh?
Canadian hill folk, eh?
Yeah.
Isa builds a tree.
Yeehaw, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
well, it's a lot of fun, and it's a really rewarding lifestyle. I mean, it's really nice to, when you put the work in on birthing an animal and raising an animal, and growing a feed for that animal. Then when the time comes and you butcher it and it's in your freezer, and then you're got your phone ringing. Hang on 1 second. My daughter. I'll be right back.
I'll talk. Did you want to answer that? Okay. Anyway, folks, as y'all know, we lost our buck Oli, and then we lost Blossom, and she was pregnant with two babies, or 2 kids. Then Clover, who was just as sick as Blossom, but she hung on, and she had to have a C-section. And I was there for the C-section because I wasn't going to let her go through that without me there, because both Clover and Blossom were actually born and raised here, and this was only their 2nd year of kidding. So it was really, really, really tough to let Clover go, to let them all go. It was a real devastating blow. Although I have some good news, but anyway, I'll get to that. We put the baby bucks out into the barn. Are you back, honey?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay.
We put the baby bucks out in the barn. I was telling you this a minute ago. Yesterday, because it was mild and not mild, but I mean the eaves were dripping a bit, and it was above 0. So I made them little sweaters, and I put them in the barn under a heat lamp and a fresh big bed of straw and all that stuff. And by 9:30 when I went out, it was getting real cold. And by this morning, I had Howie check the Weather Channel, and thank God for technology, man. Had him check the Weather Channel. He said it's going to be cold like this till Tuesday. So that was it. The babies came back in. Because you don't want to leave them out there and hope for the best. Not when you've lost all of the parents and the aunts and the uncles and the whole shooting match. They may be boys, but one's for the freezer and one's for breeding.
Mm-hmm.
So then when we brought the babies back in the house, or when we took them out to the barn yesterday, Howie went and checked on the hives, being above 0 day, and we lost our entire bee colony.
Yeah.
Every single bee was dead. Just a long, hard winter, and that was devastating because the first year we kept replacing colonies in the first 2 years before we finally got a hive strong enough to be local, to live. And this was their second, and they're all dead. So we got no honey this year except for what we already harvested. And we're going to have to build up another bee colony. And I come in the house, when Howie come into the house and told me that the bees were dead, it was like just one blow too many.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just felt like one blow too many. And I said, God, there's days I just want to quit. And God love Howie. You know what he said? He said, quit what? Living?
Yeah.
This is the life.
Yeah.
You can't just quit living because it gets tough. And I went, you're right. You're absolutely right. And that made me feel a whole lot better. But I brought the babies in the house, and we've got to set up now because they are rambunctious little dudes. And they're in the hallway, but they keep knocking the gate over. Only a 50-pound bag of feed and a 20 or 30-pound bag of dog food in a garbage can is what's holding that gate from them. Of course, the dogs don't help. They jump up there and go, na 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 na, and the goats go wham, wham against the gate. But we figured out, stop that. Do you hear that? Ah. Anyway, Howie, Minnie's locked in the bathroom. She knocked my walker over and it closed the door on her. So we're going to put them out in the morning after their feed. I'm going to put their little sweaters on that I made. And yes, folks, there's a video coming. I just haven't gotten to editing it yet. We're going to put their little sweaters on. And when Howie does the morning chores at 6 a.m., he's going to put them out under the heat lamp, and they'll stay out there all day. I'll just take their bottles out and feed them. And then at bedtime, they'll come in the house for the night just until the weather turns, which is hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. So.
Well, I think we've got some winter left anyway. The Farmer's Almanac says that there's going to be winter all the way up until the first part of April, so we'll see. I mean, that's for my area here anyway in southern Ohio.
I ain't keeping goats in my house till April, man.
Yeah, you say that, but you do what you got to do when it boils down to it. So somebody had a question. about the chicks that I have. They want to know how big they're going to be roughly, and how old they'll be whenever we go to butcher them.
They're huge already.
They're going to be probably close to 8 or 9, maybe even 10 weeks old, maybe even a little bit more. I don't know. I'm hoping to get them up to between 6 and 8 pounds apiece. But I don't know because I've never had black Austalorps before, and I don't know. I don't know anything about them. I've never raised them before.
How old are they now, John?
They are 6 weeks.
Okay, so I'm going to say at 12 weeks, they should hit about 6 pounds.
Yeah.
No, not 12 weeks, 16 weeks. They should hit 6, 7 pounds by 16 weeks. Anything longer than that, they're going to be tough.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping not to go any longer than 12 weeks because that's what we did our calculations on as far as what it's going to cost, price per bird, and what we're going to do because we figured out that I'm going to need probably 150 roughly chickens for the whole year to have our chicken supply for the whole year. And the reason that I say that is because we did fried chicken legs last night, and we cooked like 22 of them. 22 legs, so that was 11 chickens. We just had the legs. But the way we're going to butcher them is we're going to butcher them out like you would buy them at the store. We're going to butcher them out so we have packs of breasts, packs of legs, packs of thighs, packs of wings. That way, when we go to, we can do barbecue thighs, or we can do fried chicken legs, or we can do chicken wings, or take the breast out and cut them into strips and stuff like that. That's how we're going to butcher them up, rather than having a whole freezer full of whole birds.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
When you butcher them up, you know how you have that upper back where the wings and everything are attached? That upper back part of the chicken that kind of you can't really use for anything. When you're partsing those birds up, save all them backs and pressure cook them and make yourself some kick-ass broth and can that.
That's what we plan on doing. We'll save the carcasses, we'll boil them down, and then pull all the meat off of it and can that up just for our miscellaneous canned chicken meat. Yeah. And we'll boil the bones all the way down a little bit more and can up the broth from that.
Okay, how many people live in your household right now, so we get an idea how many chickens you're talking about? You said 150 chickens. How many people does that mean? 6. That's 3 adults and 3 kids.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a pretty good calculation. You're gonna eat a lot of chicken, obviously.
Well, I mean, it's a lot cheaper than cattle. It's a lot cheaper than beef. Beef prices are going up through the roof, and when you have hard winters and you can't get 4 or 5 deer in the freezer, you only get 2 or 3. You're gonna have to unless you just stop eating meat, which I'm not going to stop eating meat. Chickens, raise them up. We prove that we can raise them up. Yeah, well, we proved that we can raise them in the middle of winter there because when we first got them little chicks, about the week after we got them, it was 20 below zero, and we kept them alive. Yeah. So. Yeah. Mary said there's another question about me and you being actual brother and sister.
Okay, can't you see people see the resemblance? Come on, can't you see the resemblance? We're not actually brother and sister. We are brother and sister in heart and by choice. And honestly, if you watch enough of our videos, you're going to forget that we're not blood brother and sister, because I think God chose us to be brother and sister, just not birthed.
We got a lot in common, that's for sure.
What's that?
We got a lot in common, that's for sure, and how we carry ourselves and conduct our day-to-day business around our little homesteads and stuff.
And our opinions on life and love and God and that are all very, very, very similar. We might as well have been. Well, I think I think our parents are notwithstanding our physical parents, but I think our actual parents were the fact that we hit that bottom of the barrel of hell and came back out. So we both feel pretty same about a lot of things. I mean, our experiences are different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change your outlook, because heck, when you've seen hell, when you hit the bottom of that barrel, there's no way out but up.
Yep.
And everything after that's gratitude.
Then you get to the point to where you wake up one night and the devil himself standing in your bedroom going, "Arr!" and you look at him and you go,
"Oh my God!"
"Oh, it's just you," and roll over and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of you,
that's right. Hey, you done tried your best, but you failed. Go pick on somebody your own size, and I ain't talking somebody bigger.
Look, Devil, here's my scared face. All right, what's
Sorry, folks. Kitties don't look. Devil, here's my scared face. Do I need to turn that up?
Print and Prepper, is that what it says? Print and Prepper wants to know how the goats died. How did the goat die?
Okay. All right. Looks like my supper's going to get cold here. I'm kidding, folks. Okay. Without an autopsy, they could not pinpoint what happened, except for the fact that there was a lot of wasted, they were really thin. And we couldn't tell they were really thin because they were all puffed up and fat looking because the two girls were pregnant. The doctor did a stool sample, and there were some evidence of parasites, but not enough to do the damage. The girls, well, Clover, the only one she could test, okay? Clover, the blood work on Clover came back, she was anemic, okay? Now, they were getting their molasses oats every day. They were getting the hay every day, and when she, after the fact, she looked at the hay and said, no, that hay's fine. So, and they were getting fed twice a day, so, but a combination of a mild case of parasites, anemia, and a bloody cold, extra long winter just knocked the crap out of my herd. Without an autopsy, we'll never know exactly what it was, but that's as close as we can figure.
Well, that's one of those things in our particular lifestyle that, any one of those things by itself could have been nipped in the bud and corrected, but when all three of them come down at once, there's just, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah. It's like having a cold and being forced to work outside and getting pneumonia and not being able to come inside.
Yeah.
That's why I brought the babies back in the house last night, because I'm not risking them.
I must have been pretty close to death then, because this past winter I had a really bad cold. What do they call it when you got the torn muscles in your guts? A hyena or something like that? Hyena's
hernia.
Yeah, that. Hyena.
I love you, John.
I was really tired, and it was really freaking cold, and I was still outside. Rain, sleet, or snow, animals got to be fed, wood's got to be split, everything's got to keep going. So,
well, yeah, I tell you, there's a lot of people out there who ask, I've got 2 acres, or I'm buying acreage and stuff. What do I do, and what do I get? And let me give you a nickel's worth of free advice, folks. If you don't have experience with livestock or small stock in any way, shape, or form, do your research first. Education is your best tool at saving the lives of your animals and your personal heartbreak. Because even when you know what you're doing, there's going to be circumstances beyond your control, and you do not want it all. You don't want to go out and buy 10 acres and then get yourself 2 does and a buck goat and a couple of pigs and some chickens and some turkeys and all this stuff, and have one hard winter and all your investments gone. I would
definitely advise everybody who wants to start into homesteading and start a little place going. Start with chickens.
6 laying hens in a garden.
Yep. Start from there, and then add something on. Every year, add something on. Either some more layers, or this spring you start out with your garden, and your chickens, and then next year add on rabbits or maybe a goat or something, and go that way. But I mean, I have a lot of people who ask me what I grow in my garden, and they grow all this exotic stuff, and they grow this and they grow that, and my garden is when I go to the grocery store and I buy fresh produce. What do I buy? That's what I want to grow. I don't want to grow stuff that I'm not going to use or just takes up space or it looks pretty. I want to buy stuff that I know that I buy to use to make soups and it's just basic. I grow a lot of whatever I can that I know we're going to eat: potatoes, onions, carrots, spinach and lettuces, which we're going to work on next year's hydroponic winter garden in the house. It's going to be a lot bigger and more expensive. Just because I bought 2 tomatoes the other day at the store, and it was like $3.30 for 2 tomatoes. I was like, I wanted to find the produce manager and smack him.
Well, because they know they got you by the short and curlies, especially at this time of year.
Yeah, well, I don't like that feeling, so I'm going to do something about it. And this is my. I've been living out here for quite a while, but the first few years, especially after Lupita got sick, I didn't do anything. I didn't do, I was too busy. Oh, woe was me, and bummed out and moping around. And then one day I kicked myself in the butt and said, you got to get up and get something going, or you're going to starve, and the kids are going to starve. So we started growing, and every year we add on to the garden. And now that there's some more space out back here, we've taken away like the little kids' little clubhouse playground thing. Well, my kids are too big for that, so I gave it to some friends. We took it down this past weekend and sent it out to their house. And now I've got that little extra space. That's just going to be another patch of tomatoes or beans or something, So.
Yeah. Well, we have staple things we grow. Got another question?
Yep.
We have staple things we grow, and I'm keeping it simple. I'll be right back. You go ahead, honey.
Well, the question's for you. Are there any turkey eggs hatching? I don't have any turkey eggs. So my turkey eggs are not hatching, but in May we're going to be getting some ringneck pheasants in, and start growing some ringneck pheasants because pheasants are delicious and they look cool. We can sell breeding pairs and we can sell fertilized eggs. We'll butcher quite a few of them and put them in the freezer, but we're going to use them also as a little bit of an income maker too. So we can sell the feathers on the internet. We can sell the eggs, and we can also sell breeding pairs of ringneck pheasants too. But the question was for you, Bev. How are your turkey eggs doing?
When it rains, it pours. Out of the 12 eggs, I got 3 Royal Palm chicks. The rest all died. Two of them died in hatching. One I helped because it had hatched all the way around, but it had club feet. So folks, don't help them hatch, even when it gets all the way around. If they can't get out of that shell, there's a reason for it. But I did help one more. I couldn't help myself, and that was, I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, let me put me on here. There's my little brooder here behind me. I have 3 little Royal Palms in here, and this guy I don't think is going to make it because they just keep beating up on him. This is my blue slate, and isn't he a pretty color?
He's a fancy turkey.
Yeah, well, I helped him out of his shell, and he doesn't walk very well. Maybe if I grab him by his feet, it'll strengthen his legs. But the other ones are beating up on him, so I'm going to pamper him a little bit and see if I. Oh, you're on your back. I'm sorry. There we go. So if you go for by the fact that we paid for 12 eggs, okay? Yes, there were 9 that were infertile and they gave us another dozen. But out of the 12 eggs, I have 6 for sure birds. The 3 bigger ones out in the porch, and these 3, and they're all Royal Palms. They're all Royal Palms. So,
that's about as good as you can get.
Huh?
That's about as good as you can get. I mean, there's always going to be. I was really surprised with these chicks that we got. I figured we would lose at least 15% out of the 100. We would lose 15, but I think we've only had 8 or 9 die, and the rest of them, we traded and stuff like that, and sold. Yeah. But there's another question for both of us. How did we find YouTube? For me, I was actually researching chickens, and I was looking at stuff on the internet, and my buddy MacGyver, who you guys have seen me, MacGyver, he's that I beat to death with a shovel in that one video, the picture story.
I missed that one.
But he suggested that I look at YouTube, and so I started looking at YouTube, and I come across Ironhead 41's channel, Sammy, who is just an awesome dude. He's a redneck old country boy, and I come across another video. Yeah, he's a good dude, man. I like him. He was really helpful. And I contacted him. I had to start up a channel in order to send a private message, in order to send a message to him. So I started up my channel just to send a message, and he got back to me. And it really surprised me. And then I, just did some more research, and then he introduced me to AJ Prepper and Hillbillies in the Bush. and we started talking about my situation and what I was doing, how I built my chicken coop out of old election signs, and I cut the trees down myself to put the poles up, and and that's what I was doing. And they're like, man, you should make a video about that. I was like, what? Like, you should put a video out. They go, people would love to learn how to do stuff like that. And so I started making videos, and now here I am. That's how I found and got involved with YouTube, and I'm glad I did, because this community that we're in is just a super fantastic community.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean the support system that we give each other is just an amazing thing.
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of people out there, huh?
I mean, the generosity of the YouTube community, especially our homesteading / prepping community, the generosity of our community and our willingness to share information and help each other live better, more fulfilled, better informed lives is just, I mean, I am honored to be a part of this. I mean, whoever thought I'd be sitting here talking over a computer with some super fantastical Mrs. Wolfie? Never my wildest dream.
Come on. I'm just your big sister.
Holy crap, that's good tea, eh?
Yeah. Holy crap. Hang on. Holy crap, it's a good cup of tea. That's a really bad accent.
All right, your YouTube story. 1, 2, 3, go.
What's that?
I said your YouTube story. 1, 2, 3, go.
Well, one of my sons had a girlfriend, and she wanted to learn how to knit, and so I made a video for her on the basics of knitting, and I sent it to her, but the file was too big to send through email, and so my son, who was like 13 or 14 or 15 at the time, rolled his eyes and said, Mom, you got to use YouTube. So he set me up with YouTube, and about a year later, people were making comments. And I was like, what? What's this comments thing?
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2010 that I actually, you're not eating till 9:30.
Mommy!
Oh my God. So that was it. Someone made a comment, and I said, Brian, what's this? What's this? And he goes, Mom, someone's commenting on your video. And I went, they can do that? He said, if you're public, they can. And I went, how do I know? So he's like, by the time I got my first editing software, I got a copy of Sony Vegas Pro. And he said, now, Mom, he showed me how to download it and all that stuff. He said, now, Mom, it might take you a couple of weeks to figure it out. He said, but don't be hard on yourself. Well, that thing had a tutorial built in. So I had a video that was edited through that. Because you know what I was doing? Pausing my camera. Because I used Windows Movie Maker once, and I didn't know how to change it from AVI to an MPEG file.
I don't know what any of that means.
Neither did I. So anyway, that's how I started. And if you look at my earlier videos, which I'm replacing one by one, because they are just really bad, really bad. But yeah, that's how I started.
I love those videos where you start them out. You're like, "Hi, friends. Welcome to Mrs. Wolfie. Don't look at my hair."
Oh God. Well, I still have those days. Don't look at my hair. I just had a shower.
Let's see. Any of you going to make goat cheese? No, I probably won't be getting milking goat until later on this year, which she will probably get bred next fall and kid next spring. So, for me, no.
And for me, well, I had 2 goats pregnant, and we weren't going anywhere this summer, and I was going to milk right through till late winter. But, you know what they say, when you make plans, God goes, okay, try it this way. But what I have figured out is I have found the woman who I originally bought the very first 2 Nubian males, because we wanted to see if we could actually butcher the goats ourselves, right? We didn't video that. She has she breeds 4-H purebred registered Nubians.
Ooh.
And I phoned her in desperation today. Nobody sells females. Nobody. I'll take a kid. I don't care. And she says, well, I got a couple of mine that got pregnant accidentally by Toggenburg. She said, so there'll be crossbreds. I said, I don't care.
Yeah.
I said, she said, so if she has 2, I will be able to get 2 female kids from her probably in April, May. But they're $150 a pop for females.
Yeah.
And that's not purebreds.
I think they're about between 100 and 130 around here where I'm at even.
Yeah, and we're not going to even be able to breed them until the following fall because they won't be old enough.
Once I do get my milk and goat and that part of that whole milking thing added to my daily routine, then yes, I'll be making cheese. I'll be making ice cream because goat milk makes awesome ice cream because it's got a real high fat content. Yes. What kind of impact does making videos have? You doing things.
That's what it said.
What?
Okay, I get it. They want to know how much of an impact running a YouTube channel and doing videos has on our daily life. Is that correct?
I don't know. If that's right, then that should be. The only thing that the videos do for me is slow me down a little bit because a lot of times I got to stop and go, oh crap, I got to turn the camera on because but I mean and I get. What I need people to understand is what you see is what you get. This is how I am. If you see me out in the world, I have my Great Dickies work shirt on and my black Cook's Farm Center feed hat on. I don't like stop and put my JNull0 costume on before I make a video or anything. It's just not. This is what I am, and the stuff that I do is what I do around my place every day, and that's why I can usually put out a video a day because I just make a video about whatever I happen to be doing that day, and it's not like I sit around and think about things to do. I do what I do.
Well, it has made a huge impact on my life only because I'm kind of gimpy, and sometimes I have to do a lot of things with a walker and stuff. So it does me some time to set up a tripod, because I'm not lucky enough to have a cameraman, Mary. Oh, by the way, Mary's on camera, but she is monitoring the chat. I want to say thank you, Mary, very, very, very much. We really appreciate it because otherwise we'd just be having a conversation. I see a hand.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, we're here.
Mary's been a huge, huge help. My roommate Mary, since she's moved in here, and I'm very happy. She's happy.
That came up as a question that somebody privately emailed me.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, JNull0's wife has not passed away. Mary is not his new girlfriend. When he says roommate, he means co-inhabitor, border roommate type person. His older son moved out, and Mary moved in, and Mary's helping, around the homestead. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so no, he hasn't got one on the side.
Jay's got a girlfriend and he lives with him.
I know. Well, I mean, when you say roommate, people assume a lot.
Yeah, well, you know what they all say about assuming.
Makes an ass out of you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But for me, because I work really, really, really hard, and there are some older videos where my shirts have got grease stains on them, and because I never thought to change my shirt after cooking and all that stuff, and people go, ew, her shirt's got grease stains on. I said, well, yeah, like I got time to go over every grease stain with a toothbrush before it goes in the wash.
That's why I wear Great Dickies work shirts. That way I always got the same thing on every day.
Do they come in 6X?
Absolutely.
I gotta get me. They come in bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I gotta get me a couple of them.
Have you not been inside the world? There's some huge dudes around, man. They gotta have Dickies work shirts too.
I want some Dickie work shirts. I want 8 X. I want them to be so big they were built by Omar the tent maker. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
I'm pretty sure we can find
as far as I work really hard at, and sometimes I don't always get to your questions, folks, because for some reason sometimes you ask me a question box, which means you probably aren't on Gmail or in my circle, little detail that nobody knows how to fix. Really hard at answering all questions and comments, and that takes up a good probably 2.5 hours a day. But it's a good thing in a way because I'm a gimp. So whenever I'm in the middle of doing something and my legs and my knees or my back starts to give out, I sit down and I go to my mail and I answer questions and comments. But I remember when I first started asking questions and watching YouTube videos, how hard it was to ask somebody a pertinent question, say about homesteading or something, and then not hear back for like a week. You know, that was just really frustrating.
I feel really bad that I can't. I mean, a lot of times I can't even read all the comments. I just don't have time to sit. I don't sit in front of my computer for a couple hours. I try to. It may take me a couple of days, but I try to answer every PM or personal message that I get through my YouTube channel. But as far as the comments go, I can't keep up with them. I can't answer all the questions in the comments. I try. Every once in a while, I'll catch one and I can answer it. But you know, I'm on the go. There's been a lot of people that have been here to my house, and they can tell you, young men would struggle to keep up with me because I get up and I'm on the go, and I just don't sit a lot of times in front, and I just can't do it. Yeah. So if somebody wants to send me a question, you know, I try to have them send it to me in a PM so that I can make sure that I get it, because that's a whole separate thing rather than the comments.
Right.
Somebody wants to know how turtles do it.
What's that?
How's Turtle? Turtle.
How's Turtle? Oh, Turtle's a Turtle Rockstar and Slowpoke are already. They're turning out really good. And they're three little counterparts here, because I'm not holding my breath over Blue. But the three little counterparts over here are going to be joining them. I don't know when. But yeah, Turtle's doing great. He's when I made that video about how I changed the litter and stuff, Turtle was the one that was up on my back. He flew right up out of the bin and landed on my back. So he's doing good.
Are you hoping to replace the goats that died? I think you just covered that a second ago.
Yeah, I got a line on a couple of doe kids. But it'll take 2 years.
Moving on 04 says, what are both of your opinions as far as trolls and people giving false information in the chat? I don't waste time with them. I don't, you know, if somebody gets out of pocket, I'll just block them and ban them from the channel and move along. I don't know. They don't bother me. They don't get under my skin. I'm pretty thick-skinned from my previous life. I'm definitely not going to let somebody, you know, talk crap on the internet, on the keyboard. If they got something to say, they can come to my front door and we'll see how it works out for them. But as far as the troll and all that kind of stuff goes, I just block them and you know, I don't. That doesn't, to me, it doesn't bother me. The people giving false information, you know, I've always said, just like everybody else says, you know, do your own research. If you're interested in the topic, look it up for yourself and go and see what it says, you know. But when I look at my channel, as, you know, you spend all day making the perfect glass of sun tea, right? And then all of a sudden, one little fly lands in the sun tea, and he's floating around on top. Do you dump that whole thing out and get rid of it? I know. I just like I do the trolls, just flick them to the side and move along with my day.
I had a lot of problems with trolls. With our butchering, killing and butchering of George video, people, there was one person who took it really, really personally. I think his name actually might have been George, because he haunted me right up until this year. So probably 2 years now. But I've had to learn, like, it's taken multiple people to tell me, Bev, arguing on the internet is like winning an argument with a toddler. You may have won the argument, but you're still arguing with a toddler.
That reminds me of something that my friend the Frog Toad says all the time. He's like, do not argue with stupid people, because they only drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Right. So,
right. Exactly. So what I do. And there are people who leave comments who come on and will say, oh, well, that's not how you do that. And it's like, you know what? You go ahead and video about how you do it differently, and we'll compare notes. Because 9 times out of 10, folks, these people just don't, you know, they just want to cause dissension. And I just, you know, I'm learning. My little brother's teaching me how to have tough skin.
I've learned, you know, there's always another way. If you don't like my way, then there's always your way. You know, we're just throwing that. We're just
not that, and there's the highway.
Yeah, there's always idea. All we're doing is sharing ideas. You know, here's my idea. You can take it and add something to it and make it yours and make it work for you.
And if I'm wrong, and anybody will know if I am wrong, and if in any way, shape, or form, I will video a retraction. I will, because I hate being wrong. I got a bumper sticker that says, what's my bumper sticker say besides I hate zombies, hang up and drive? Oh, I'm right, you're wrong. Deal with it. I hate being wrong.
Well,
so if I'm wrong, I'm the first one to admit it.
I've been wrong a lot, so it just is what it is. I mean,
well, you know what they say about being wrong, eh?
Yeah.
There's no such.
There's always going to be people who hate you for some reason or don't like it. You're like, you're doing that stupid. You're stupid. That's just stupid if you do it that way. Well, okay, so be it. So I'm stupid, but that's okay. You know what? My kids are fed. I got a roof over my house, and you think I'm stupid. It's a great day. It doesn't bother me. So.
Yeah.
Autumn Prepper wants to know how everything worked out with the insurance and the pool. It didn't. I had to relocate the pool. I had to bite my tongue, and with every fiber of my being, I had to play the game in order to get the insurance that I needed to play the bankers games. Yeah, it didn't. I didn't win that particular battle, but I got accomplished what I needed to get accomplished as far as having the whole mortgage situation worked out and getting the insurance on this place. And that dude, if you happen to be watching, the dude up in Cleveland from the insurance company, you know what I'm talking about, you had better thank the God of skinny, suit-wearing punks that I can't get my hands on you, because I would punch you until you stop moving for about 3 days. I'm just saying. That's with all the love that I can muster for you.
I used that line. I used it this week. I used it. I had one of those, hello, this is Windows Microsoft. This is Windows Microsoft support system. You're getting a lot of error messages on your computer. How can we help? And I went, you lying sack of beep. I said, if you ever phone my house again, because I get these phone calls at least once a month. Said, if you ever phone my house again, I will hunt you down and I will punch you till you stop moving. And then I hung up on him, and I went, thank you, John. Thank you,
I swear you're going to cry when she sees what I've done to you.
Your mama won't recognize you.
Comment from Mindy Patriot Angel. Want to thank you both for all your wonderful videos. Well, thank you, Mindy, for viewing the videos. I told them the other day we were speaking on the phone, I don't do you guys any favors at all by making videos. You guys do me the favor by watching them and leaving wonderful comments on them. So thank you guys. Don't thank me. I'm just a dude. I just, make videos about what I do, and you guys are the ones who watches them and supports me, and I really appreciate it. And Autumn, I always want to say, Autumn Prepper, I love you. She is like one of the toughest women that I have ever met, and she's awesome. And hopefully one of these days she'll come to visit. Hint, 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 because she's just in Jersey. Anyway.
Hey, Autumn, guess what? At some point at the end of October, I'm going to be in Ohio.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I am going to say that Howie and I are mapping out a route, and we will probably go through, I want to see a bit of Kentucky. So we're going to do it, we're going to come up the back way, and then we're going to go back out through like Pennsylvania, New York to go home. But we are going to be driving through or crossing a portion of West Virginia and Ohio and North Carolina, folks.
Well, let me say this. You better, whenever you cross back into Ohio from Kentucky, you better do it here in Lawrence County, because if you go over there to Scioto County, where Mr. and Mrs. Moving On 04 live, they don't let people cross the river from Kentucky into their county.
Why?
They stop them there. You got to come around. They don't let people from Kentucky in. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know why they're. That's just it's Scioto County. What are you gonna do? So
okay.
Yeah. Love you, Gloria. She's another one of my sisters.
So, if anybody out there is watching, and if you want us to stop in for a cup of coffee on our way through, we'll be more than happy to oblige. Just let us know. But know that my last stop along the way is at my little brother's house. And I plan on hitting the nearest Motel 6 and staying for a couple of days and having a bit.
You're not staying in no damn Motel 6?
Oh, yes, I am.
Well, then I'm going to put me a Motel 6 outside in front, and there you go. We're the only one.
No, honey, I sleep naked. If you want to not put your eyes out and be blind for the rest of your life, you do not want me waking up in the middle of the night, wandering around, flapping in the breeze, trying to find the toilet. What?
So there's look like a really good motel in there.
Howie's got something to say. Howie's got something to say. What? Yeah, you may want to have to break out the gerbils and the rubber sheet.
Hey, tell Howie he can help me build some stuff while he's here, but he's got to wear pants while he does it. I don't want to see them Scooby-Doo boxes.
He's going to want to put you to work while we're there, but you got to wear pants. All right, he says. I guess I can do that.
Let's see here. Linda MC. Do some types of goats have milder milk? Mix? Milk.
Yep.
I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know.
No, goat milk is goat milk. The difference, what is she? I think she's referring to the goaty flavor of milk that it can get. That comes from the goat having colostrum still in the milk in the beginning, and B, having your buck anywhere near your female where he can reach with urine. You want, when your goats are in milk, you keep your buck away from your girls at least a pen apart, if not completely out of the barn.
He will be standing behind them.
Your milk tasting sweet instead of goaty.
He'll be standing behind them, peeing all over himself like this, waiting to see her, waiting for her to come back in the season.
Oh my God, yes. You can't even keep your male in the barn when you've got your females in the barn while you're milking. Like, I keep them in the barn for the most part in the summertime when I'm milking them. And if he can get anywhere near them, he is just, his beard is yellow with pee. And it's just nasty. And goat meat, 2-year-old male goat meat is tastier than all get out. It's like mild beef. But you don't want to kill and butcher a buck with his nuts intact. It tastes nasty.
Yeah, Weathers all the way for butchering. Weathers.
Absolutely.
Weathers are goats that no longer have their certain no area parts in St. Soprano.
Just his nuts are gone.
Yeah. Who was that? That's
Dawn.
Dawn Feckin.
Feckin?
Yeah. What's our favorite canning tomato?
Oh, I like Romas, like the plum tomatoes.
Yeah, Romas for me too. They're a great canner. They got they're real meaty. They hold up well to the whole canning process. But my favorite canning tomato is whatever happens to be ripe at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that Mabel? Oh.
So yeah, but my favorite canning tomatoes is whatever happens to be ripe and ready at that particular time. If the aroma's great, if they're bigger boys, and great, and there's a lot of the.
Whatever. Hell, I've thrown cherry tomatoes in.
Yeah, a lot of them too, like the real juicy varieties. Like sometimes some of the Rutgers will get really, really juicy and loose. They're real full of juice. I'll just juice them. I'll just straight up juice them and can up the tomato juice, and then take the a trick that I learned from Uncle Buck, Buck around 11. Was
Hi,
you take hi Uncle Buck. If you take and you run your tomatoes through a juicer, all the pulp and the seed that you have left over, put them in ice cube trays and freeze them. Then you've got nice treats for your chickens. On a hot summer day, take some of them little ice cube trays full of the tomato pulp and seeds, and let them go out there to have a nice cool treat, and they love it. They love it.
You should make a couple of suet cakes for your black Australorps right now.
Yeah. We're thinking about it because we've got some extra beef fat in the freezer that we're trying to figure out what to do with, so we might just do that.
Beef fat?
Yeah.
That's good for soap, man.
Yeah.
That's really good for soap.
Well, throughout the course of the year, all summer and fall, whenever we'll buy we'll buy a whole sirloin or something like that. We'll catch them on sale. We'll buy these big chunks. We cut our own steaks out of it rather than pay the extra for the steaks.
Yeah.
And then we'll trim off all the fat, and we'll save the fat and freeze it. That way, when we start grinding our deer meat up in the wintertime, we grind the beef fat in with the deer meat. That way we get our fat content, because deer's so lean. That way we can get a decent fat content in the burger. So
Yeah, that's what. Well, we got our very first deer this year, and it was a little spike buck, tender, taste just like. As a matter of fact, we had that for supper tonight. We had venison stir fry.
Oh,
But
man.
I made my sausage with half venison and half fairly lean pork, and I still should have added some fat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do with our beef fat. We keep it throughout the, whenever we get it, whenever we can manage to get a big chunk of it, whether it be a round or a sirloin or whatever, we trim it out and then just throw the fat chunks in the freezer in a bag. That way we have them for whenever we start grinding.
Yeah.
Steps for her. This question for Bev. Do you think you will ever raise another steer?
Hell no. Hell no. Not unless I got 5 acres that I could tie him to a post out of the back 40. Because well, you guys know the story, man. I fed him deer apples and bits of turnip and all kinds of things, and then our barn is only like 30 feet from the house. So you'd turn on a light in the middle of the night and he'd go, because he thinks it's treat time.
Yeah.
No.
I don't have one.
One morning, when he was just turned 10 months old, we were laying in bed, and I got up to go to the bathroom. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I made the mistake of turning on a light. And he started. And that was at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock Saturday morning. I woke up at 7 o'clock, stretched, opened the curtains to my patio doors, which is in my bedroom, and there was Howie with a carcass on a tarp. Red was gone. That was it, man. He said that when he woke up and said, that steer's gonna die, I didn't think he meant right then. He got up out of bed, made a coffee, went on it, and he tied him to a tree, gave him an apple, and hit him right between the eyes with a sledgehammer.
What are you doing? I murdered this deer. Jay, what do you think about goats that climb trees? I got one, that little bit goat of mine, that white goat. She hasn't been up there most of the wintertime, but she loves to climb up that slanted locust tree that I got out by the barn, the chicken house. And she goes up in there and munches on the leaves, and she can see all the way up and down the holler, and she just can. I seen on the that Facebook thing the other day, one of my friends, Cody, he put a thing about there's a whole tree full of goats, man. I don't know. It's crazy. It's just crazy how nimble they are.
Well, you've seen them climbing those ones that climb the sheer rock face. It's almost a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look at these little guys, and I feel their hooves, and their hooves are like little rubber suction cups, and they're like 2 toes.
Gravy's goat used to jump on the trampoline.
What's that?
Gravy 111, our other sister. She had a trampoline in her backyard. Her goats used to jump on the trampoline.
Oh my God! I love my goats, but it's like, okay, nobody get offended. This is a religious remark, okay? Please nobody get offended. And on the 7th day, God put odor in the baby goat's poop. Oh, what? It's like changing crappy diapers all over again. It's like somebody left the lid off a diaper pail. It's just awful.
Bev, Kathleen, any suggestions on meat for the pork and beans besides pork? And what kind of meat would you? Apparently, I don't think she eats pork.
Oh, well.
Why couldn't you just use like beef chunks?
Or actually, you know what? If you get a good quality like beef Polish sausage, you could put chunks of that in it.
That would be good.
Or turkey, or like kibas or Polish sausage ring, the stuff that you can eat, slice it off and eat it without cooking it. Yeah. If you can get like a turkey kielbasa, which I know there's out there, you can get pepperettes that are made, those little Howie calls them dog dicks. It's awful, I'm sorry, but you can get those little pepperette sticks in the meat section, and you can buy those in turkey, and they're spicy. Throw a couple of chunks of those in. I don't see why not.
That's it sounds good to me. I think that would be fine. I mean, and
I love my
like a beanie weenie type thing.
Hey, throw some wieners in there. Oh no, that's the lips and assholes. I used to think I was so proud when we used to eat hot dogs back in the day. I used to buy chicken hot dogs, thinking, oh, they're so much healthier. And then someone said, you know that hot dogs are made of lips and arseholes, right? And I said, so? And they said, chickens don't have lips.
Ew.
It took me a long time. I will not go anywhere near a chicken wiener.
Aaron Covey, is that a V? Covey wants to know if I got a new computer. Yes, I had to get a new computer. My old computer just wasn't gonna. And everybody laughs when I say this, but I thought that I was rocking and rolling with my 1.64 gigabytes of RAM. And apparently that is nothing. I even called the Microsoft 800 number, and he's like, "Well, sir, I need to know what you're looking at." Well, he's like, "Well, what system do you have?" And he showed me where to pull it up at. I'm like, "I have an 01 Windows XP First Edition Home Edition," and I heard him tapping on his keyboard, and he's like, "Dude."
They don't even do updates for that anymore.
He goes, "Dude." And I go, "What?" He goes, "I got to be honest with you, man." He goes, I was still in high school when that machine was built." He goes, "I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea what you're looking at." I said, "Well, can't we like upload or get a disk to put some new something in this computer?" He's like, "Man, no, you can't." I was like, "Well, why not? I don't want to get a new computer. I don't need it. This thing still works." He's like, "No, it doesn't." He goes, "I'll tell you why." He goes, it would be like taking one of the turbocharged fuel injection systems off of one of today's really super fast Mustangs and trying to cram it onto early models Mustang from the early 60s. He goes, you may be able to get it to fit, but eventually it's going to blow up. He goes, that computer, he goes, you need a new machine, man. You need a new machine, you cheap bastard, get out there and get one." And I said, "Well, all right then." And then, of course, you made the video, and I got a couple of PayPal. Again, our community with doing the awesome thing that our community does, a couple of PayPal donations that helped me get the one that I got now, and I bought a Dell because I think that they're mostly American made. I think and, at least they're based in America, but who knows? So I got a Dell, and it's got like 456 bazillions of RAM or whatever that means, and it's just I don't know. There's all kinds of numbers and letters and 45,000 A, B, C, D, E, F, G's and all that other kind of crap. So
my last computer, before I bought this one January last year, and I now have an HP Pavilion desktop, and I actually have 4 terabytes of external hard drive so that I can store my videos, because you never know when I'm going to want to spend 2 days making a blooper video or something out of all my old.
I know a terabyte.
Well, a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I also have to say thank you very, very much. There were people who put money in my PayPal account and allowed me to pay my vet bills and buy the milk replacer for the babies. So thank you very much. Awesome. We did have a really awesome community, eh?
Yeah, we do. We absolutely.
But my last computer was I went to load up. I had bought some, what do you call it? The editing software. I'm losing my brain. I really am. I think I got Alzheimer's. I went to load up my editing software. My computer went, "You got to be shitting me, right?" And it crashed. Just completely crashed. And here I was using this itty-bitty little laptop that somebody had sold me that I would take out to the camp and watch videos on. And I said to Howie, "I got to have a computer. I can't sit here and spend 6 hours editing a video." So.
See, I just use the YouTube editor. I don't. My videos aren't fancy. I take 2 or 3 clips and I use the YouTube editor to put them together. And if I fall down the hill, I'm not going to edit. I mean, I don't edit it out. It is what it is. And I use it to put my little buzz the end on there and put the videos together, and I put it out there. I'm a pretty simple dude.
I had no idea. I was pausing my camera because I did not know how to put sections of video together. I didn't know how to use nothing until I had that first Sony Vegas Pro, which was a pirated copy. So I got rid of it and bought a copy of regular.
I don't remember if it was AJ.
After that, it was fine.
I don't remember if it was AJ
What's
Prepper.
that?
I'm starting to figure out if it was AJ Prepper or Gravy. One of the two walked me through how to use that YouTube video editor, because they're like, well, what kind of software do you have? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, well, what kind of editing software do you have? And of course, my response to that was, and
what's editing software?
Light switch, huh? So yeah, like, what's up, dude? Just go to YouTube and do this, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to bring down my copy of my editing software, and I'm going to show you how to use it, and I'm going to upload it on your computer, because I got the backup disk. So. Good
luck with that. Ask Gloria. And moving on forward, explain to her in the comment section there so she can read afterwards how computer literate I am. Two Finger wants to know if I'm going to make any more PSA videos. I will eventually. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some good topics and get to that point. My other sister Gravy, she helped me out a lot with the editing and making them black and white, and giving me the look that I had. And she's just really busy right now with doing some family things, and I've been really busy doing some things. And once I get some stuff shot and get over to her, then we can go from there. But as it is right now, I will be doing some more of them really goofy public service announcement videos, the SHTF and U series. I just got to think of some content and get them shot and get them to Gravy. So, but yeah, I guess to make a long answer, yes, I will make more.
How far away does Gravy live?
Huh?
How far away does Gravy live from you?
Right now she's in Phoenix, or in the Phoenix area in Arizona.
So no chance of Vinland coming down, eh?
I don't know. We can maybe they want to move away from Arizona somewhere towards Mississippi, but we'll see.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it was just maybe we'll leave it. Maybe it would be awesome for her to come up here, her and Papa Les, because they are outstanding people. I can't say enough about them. They're just like us. They're just good old country folk, and they make their living, and they do what they can with what they have, and that's what life's all about to me.
That's life. That's life. Howie fixed my truck.
Oh yeah?
Oh my God! I've been living without my truck. Howie fixed my truck.
Woohoo! Go
I've
Howie.
been without a vehicle all winter long. That's why I had to go shopping with Howie.
J Rabbit Bow. How you doing, J Rabbit? She's not too far away from me here in Ohio. She's like, are you going to be stopping at John's during your travel? If so, are we going to have a meetup? Well, let me interject a couple things here.
What's up to John?
There will be some people who will come here, but it's not going to be like a prepper stock. It's not going to be like a huge gathering, because this is my house. This is my home. This is where my handicapped wife sleeps and my children play, and I'm not going to have a whole bunch of people running around my house here, because that would make me crazy, one. And two, that'd be a lot of work for me, because this isn't a campground. There's not going to be a cleanup crew coming afterwards, and it's a lot of work. People who have been here when we've had small gatherings will tell you it's a lot of work to get everybody fed, get everybody cleaned up, get everything cleaned up afterwards, and it takes everything that my little kitchen can pump out. So no, there will not be a huge meetup. There will be some friends who will show up and be invited. If Bev's going to be, if you're going to say you're going to be here for 3 or 4 days, then each one of them days we'll have another couple of people coming up, and everybody's piling up on us at once, and we can actually sit and visit with the people who show up, rather than having 30 people all want to talk at once. It just I'll go to town like once every 3 weeks, right? And there's a reason for that, because people and me, I do the best I can when there's people here, and once I get comfortable with them, like my family, like moving on all 4 of them, I consider them to be family. They show up and everything's good. But new people, they make me nervous. Not that I'm like antsy nervous, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but no.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Let me encapsulate this. I will stop and visit people along the way, if I'm invited for a cup of coffee, I will stop in. I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll shake your hand, give you a hug. But when I go to visit John and my other sister and you know, folks that are family to John who are going to meet me and adopt me, hopefully, that's it. I'm there. Because you know what, folks? I'm not comfortable in crowds at all.
Yeah, I mean,
at all. Best I can do is like 4. So,
yeah.
well, I mean,
yeah, I agree. I mean, I just don't want to.
This is my visit with John. You'll see some on video, but this first visit, this is our visit with John because it's our first one. So.
Well, I mean, everybody gets loud and it gets rambunctious and it gets, you know, loud, and Lupita's trying to lay down and rest, you know, and sleep, and if there's a whole bunch of noise going on, then she's up and down and up and down, and if there's a whole bunch of strangers running around, and if she gets nervous and she gets too uncomfortable, then she could have a seizure, and I don't need all that. We'll do it, you know, if you, like I said, if you're here for 3 or 4 days, we'll have a few people come out every day. That way we can sit and visit, have a nice leisurely cup of coffee and visit with them, and not have a bunch of craziness going on. So I hope that's okay with everybody, but it is what it is, and if it's not okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not a party, it's a visit, and probably Howie and John will be taking off their shirts, or well, maybe not.
I'll be like, I got more tattoos than you, my man boobs are bigger.
They'll be taking post holes and all kinds of crap.
I got more tattoos than you do, and my man boobs are bigger, Howie.
That's all right. I like his man boobs.
What kind of animals do you keep?
Doesn't like me playing with them.
Aaron Covey, what kind of animals do you keep? I have my dogs, Harley and Mabel. I have a 14-year-old zombie cat that refuses to die. I have rabbits. I have chickens. I have goats. And that's it. And kids. Do kids count? Yeah, I got kids, so they count. I'm going to be getting pheasants in May, but that's probably going to be the extent. Other than adding on to the chickens and adding on to the goats, those will probably be the extent of the animals that I have around here.
I got some turkeys. I got some chickens. I got 2 kids, like goat kids. That's it right now. I had a lot more, but I'll be getting a couple of does in April. And I'm getting 3 piglets this year because I'm going to try me a ground oven pig.
I'm actually going to build a hog lot too. We're going to do that too. I'm actually going to out in the holler a little ways. I'm going to build a little hog lot and get 2 spring pigs and raise them up and then butcher them in the fall. So I will be doing hogs as well.
Yeah.
Bev, Terry wants to know, is there anything Howie doesn't know how to fix?
Howie! Question. Is there anything you don't know how to fix? Pregnancy. No, that's the only...
That was a great answer.
Oh, yeah. That was the only thing I had to get the doctors to fix myself. After after 2 kids, we figured out where they were coming from, so we quit drinking and tied a knot in it. Oh, you can fix stupid, dear. It's called a 2x4.
Yeah.
That's right. And they say you can't fix stupid. I beg to differ.
Watch. We got another one coming in.
Holy crap, that's an empty cup of tea.
Oh, yeah, mine's 52, eh?
Oh.
Let's see. Have either of you had a stranger recognize you from YouTube? No, I have not.
Yes, I have.
Did it give you the heebie-jeebies?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit. But, I mean, they were local folks, so, because I really don't work that much. I'm like Ma Ingalls. If I could be out in the middle of the prairie and go to town but once a year and do my big shopping then, I'd be quite happy.
I don't go to town. And I think I would probably, because who was that? Lobuck told me, he's like, well, it's going to happen one of these days. Somebody's going to be, hey, you're JNull0, you're from YouTube. I could be like, maybe. Why?
Now, John, I want you to put your thinking cap on for when we do come for our visit, because we're going to have to do a combination video. So you're going to have to think of something real fun for us to do.
Okay. I got plenty of time. I'm sure we can think of something to do.
Okay, and make sure it's not something I need to use my walker for. You know, don't take me climbing no trees and tramping no hills and.
I was like, hey, let's watch Mrs. Wolfie roll down the hill for a change. Yeah.
And when I get to the bottom, it's going to take 6 burly men and a crane and a tow truck to get me back up again. So.
The neighbor across the road's got a backhoe. You'll be fine.
Well, maybe we could do like some do some different recipes. You know,
yeah, we can do
teach
that.
each other a couple of recipes.
We can do that.
I'm sure looking forward to a groundhog dinner. I am looking forward to that.
Yep.
So, are there any more questions?
One that said, I'm surprised neither of you raise rabbits. Is there a reason?
I raise rabbits. Who's that from?
Shalimar Perfume.
Shalimar Perfume. I do raise rabbits.
We're going to get some again, too. We're just going to get 1 buck and 1 doe, though. Because you got to remember, there's only 2 of us here now.
Yeah.
Mind you, I do send cases of food home with, like, more, you know, my sons and stuff like that. But Howie says I got to quit feeding them. They left home. Stop feeding them.
Well, I've always heard from the research that I've done that pound for pound feed versus meat you get in return, the rabbit is the most efficient animal to raise because they breed so prolifically. So, yeah, I do raise rabbits. Yeah, they do. So.
Yeah, they do. And when you can them with a piece of bacon in the jar, they come out tasting like fall off the bone turkey. So good. Anyway, are we done?
Pretty much.
I reckon.
I reckon. All right. You say your goodbye, I'll say my goodbye.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you very much. Like I say, thank you very much for subscribing and all the views that I get. It makes me feel funny.
Makes you feel loved, and you are.
Yes, it does.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about YouTube is we realize that there's a lot of people out there just like us, and we are not alone. That's a beautiful
exactly right. And I think that our community has got the best viewers because they leave so many good comments and so much information that they share. It's just awesome.
Awesome. Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. So.
Yeah. All right. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead and
JNull0 from JNull0.
And we want to say thanks again for putting up with our video breaks and our, hogwash foolishness of trying getting on the air when we did. But we'll do this again real soon, eh, John?
Yep.
All right, you guys take care. Bye-bye.